Hello loves. So this video is going to be about how the truth will set us free. Now I feel like there's so much going on right now with this new moon energy in Gemini. It's about using our voice. It's about honoring what we have to say and not holding back and not blocking that voice. So I'm making it a priority that I start making videos with me talking, and that I develop this ability to express myself vocally. So here I am, and I want to start with just saying that there's a lot that needs to be said right now. And for most of you who are in the conscious community, you're already aware of what's been going on with the darkness and manipulation and the subconscious programming. Okay, so if you already know all of that, then you won't really learn anything from this video. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I want to talk about it now. And that the truth will set us free. When we really speak our truth, because I don't talk about this to people. I don't say this out loud. And when I did say this to my husband, he said I was crazy and did not want to have anything to do with my world. And I understand that, because he wants to protect himself. That's what the ego does. It wants to protect itself. It doesn't want to freak out and be upset, because these things are upsetting. I'm just going to go into it. There's really no easy way to introduce it. Basically, what's been going on right now with the world, right? We wonder why there's so much anger, there's so much disharmony, there's so much fighting, and everything that is happening around us is a reflection of the inside, right? It's all about projection. It's all about what is going on within your own world. Okay, the law of one teaches us that everything is a mirror. And until you accept, you embrace, you surrender to this law, this sacred law, then you'll learn your lessons. If you don't surrender to this, you'll continue to be fighting against what is happening and resisting the lessons and repeating the patterns and the cycles, okay? So here's a great example for me, what I've just been going through. I've been staying in this Airbnb here in Miami for the last 3 months, and it is in El Portal, the portal, and I have been experiencing incredible lessons around my boundaries and my ability to discern intentions of people, integrities. I've learned that I trust what people say, and that's not the way to do it. People must earn my trust, and that I was giving my energy wanting to make friends here, giving my energy away to everyone I was meeting, because I felt this was a social place, a gathering place. And then getting into social situations where I was then held as the one to make the decisions of, what we're gonna do, and then like when people, wouldn't want to like pay for something, I would then pay for them. A lot of those kind of lessons were coming up. This is a pattern in my life, and if anyone resonates with this, please leave a comment, because I don't find a lot of people like me in this regard, and I really wonder, kind of what your experience has been like as well. But I grew up as an only child, living alone, and felt really sad, really lonely, and wanting to make friends. And so I tried to make friends as a child, and what happened was I allowed just anyone to be my friend. I just allowed anyone who was nice to me, anyone who was interesting. I was like, let's be friends. And then in order to maintain this friendship, because they'll make excuses like, I can't go out because I'm broke. Then I'm like, well, I'll buy you whatever. I'll pay for it. I want to hang out. I want to have fun. Or I'll invite them over to my house, and I'll be like, oh, you want some food? What do you need? Like, let me give you things so that you hang out with me. In middle school, I had a friend that would just come over every day and like eat my food. And I thought that was friendship. I thought that was somehow mutual respect. And now I know it's not. There's a strong discernment that needs to happen. And it wasn't till things started happening, like the friends I had in middle school, she ended up with her friend robbing my house while I was sleeping. Okay, that's an example. And it happened when my mother went on vacation and left me alone at home for 2 weeks, and my friend robbed me, and it was a shock. It was a shock to my system that my own friend would do that. Steal money out of my secret drawer that I showed her. Okay, so these are lessons that I needed to learn. And then another example is in high school. I had friends from middle school that came to high school and were hanging out with me, and I was so excited to be with them. And I guess I was, my energy, whatever it was, I just was really irritating. I was talking a lot about things that they didn't want to hear, especially around health. I found that was interesting. I was getting into sports, and I was really interested in learning about health, and so I was talking about it, and it was really bothering them. So they wrote me this long letter on my birthday about how they don't want to be my friends, and that they are annoyed by me and they want me to stop talking to them. And so what happened after that was I was heartbroken. I started spending every lunch in the library and eating alone, and it was from that moment on, I feel like I've had this pain in me that I want friends so badly, and yet I don't feel wanted. Or I feel like I'm gonna be taken advantage of. Okay, so I've had that, and then along came dating and having boyfriends, and I just went with whoever again gave me that attention, whoever showed interest and was nice. I thought, hey, there you go. This has got to be the one that's gonna work out, because he's nice and he's interested in me. But relationships will really teach you the hardest lessons. So I continued to have a slew of different boyfriends who I was giving myself, just giving myself, and not receiving. and not even really able to receive. Almost, I really, it's hard for me still to receive. I'm a giver, you know, and that's the balance that I'm working on right now in my life. So I've learned from the patterns I had in the past of paying for everything, right? Especially my relationships. I was paying for dinner, I was paying for drinks, I was making all the plans of what to do. I was making the relationship fun and exciting. That's what I thought. And I'm good at it. Very good at it. I love to plan. And it was from my marriage that when I had my, job loss from the 2020 shutdown, everything changed in that regard. I could not anymore give my money. And I felt distraught. I felt that I had to give something else, that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy enough, that I needed to give something in order to be able to make up for my lack of money flow. Because I've been working very hard since I was 17. I've always had multiple jobs, working a lot, and that's been how I really keep myself distracted partly, and also how I stay productive and feel of service. So when I started to balance a little more with my awareness that I was giving too much and I needed to receive, I started stepping back from making plans and from always being the one to reach out to everyone, and as my tarot reader calls it, being the chaser. I have to stop the chaser energy of trying to make plans and get people to want to hang out with me. If I'm a true divine feminine, I'm here just to receive, and they should be the ones reaching out for me to be with them, because my time is valuable and my energy is valuable, and if they want to spend time and have my energy, they need to earn it. They need to earn it. So I really, really had to learn that, and I've been learning that lesson over and over here in this house, in this Airbnb. I've even had some really strong lessons around discernment, around the way people speak, about they literally say they're going to do something, or they say they want something, and they say, yeah, let's do that, let's make this happen, and then they lead me on, and I'm wondering, why would you lead someone on? I would never do that to someone, so why would you do that to me? But the truth is that narcissists will lead people on, and if someone is immature, they're not capable of being vocally responsible to say, I can't actually commit to this, or I actually don't have the money, am incapable of planning for such things, right? I've had a good friend of mine who no longer is a friend. She was my maid of honor in my wedding, and I remember we had so many situations that I put myself into where I told her I wanted to make plans and visit her in SoCal, in Ventura, in Ojai, and I gave her a heads up, I want to come see you, let's just hang out for a few days. And then I would get down there, and she would just be complaining the entire time that she didn't have money to do anything. And I said, girl, I told you months ago I was coming down here. You couldn't save for one night out. And she was always complaining, always negative. And I was friends with her since college, and I just had this literally almost codependent bond that I'm we must be friends because we've known each other since college, and you know me, and we're LC, we're Lisa Chang, LC, and squared, and it was just this whole relationship that I thought in my head that was meaningful, but really she was using me a lot, and I was paying for her, and she never appreciated it. I even took her to for my bachelorette. I paid for everything for her. She never once said thank you. And that was all my that was my fault. I put myself in those situations, and I did this to myself over and over and over again. And no longer shall I do this. No longer will I do this to myself. So back to what I was saying about the fact that I had all these, situations of people who were basically sucking my energy. They were like mosquitoes, okay? There's like fucking mosquitoes all over this place in Miami. You don't even know they're on you until you start itching like crazy. And, you're swatting them away, but you don't notice they're like there, and you start itching. And then once I go inside, I'm feeling all my feet, because I'm walking barefoot. I feel my feet just like itch like crazy. It's because of these mosquitoes. And believing, here's the thing, here's the lesson, and I'm going to get back to the truth will set us free. The thing is that if we don't have discernment, and if we don't understand, especially with narcissists, okay, that's the base layer, then we go into sociopaths, who are people who change personalities around you and then around others, okay? And then psychopaths, who literally don't feel empathy, okay? There's the deeper layers of narcissism. If we don't have discernment around these people, we think that, we'll assume that a mirror, that everyone around us is like us. We assume that they are like us. Now, maybe they are a fractal version of our shadow. We could have been one in a past life. Very, very much potentially true. We could have been like that at a younger age. If we haven't been mastering our soul lessons, we could still be like that. Okay, I know plenty of spiritual people who are psychopaths and sociopaths. I'm going to say that again. I know lots of spiritual people in spiritual communities, in these going and attending and facilitating these events, who are sociopaths and psychopaths. They literally don't have empathy. They literally think everything's about them, and they don't know how to listen or listen to intuition or any of that. But they speak they talk the talk. They walk, they say these things. They sound so woke, right? Mosquitoes, energy vampires, energy suckers. These people will prey on your energy because you shine so bright. Your light is so bright. They want it. They know you're nice. They'll ask you for a favor. They'll ask you to do this. They'll act like they're on board with everything you're saying. And then they don't actually work on themselves. They don't actually do shadow work. That's a first sign of someone, if they're really truly on the ascension journey. Everyone's spiritual, okay? But are they on the ascension journey? Only if you are doing shadow work, working on yourself, that's an ascension journey, because you're learning the lessons and you're committed to it. So knowing that there's people like this, I'm going to call them mosquitoes. Now you know there are people like this in the world. You start to understand that you can't just trust everyone, and you cannot just trust what people say. Now let's relate that to the rest of the world, to what's happening in the world. Let's talk about politics right now. Let's talk about what's on the news. Let's talk about what's in the media. You don't know these people. Why do you trust them? Have you actually met the president? Have you actually spoken face to face to Putin? How do you trust these people? How do you know who they are? Why do you care? Why do you care? Because there's a box that we need to fit into, so we need to know these things about what's going on, so we can have conversations about how terrible this person is and that person is, or how great this person is, you know, that we've never met, that we never fucking met, we've never spoken to face, okay? Now, let's take it even bigger. They're making decisions that impact the world. These people we've never met, we don't even know we don't know if what they say on camera is who they actually are. What if they are a sociopath? What if the second the camera goes off, they act different? We would never know. We would never know. So I want you to think about that for a second as I go into the fact that we need to start doing research of what we want to know about, okay? Because we cannot just believe what we're told. You have to research it. That means using YouTube, reading books, taking courses from qualified people, looking up people's histories, understanding who they are before you sign up for a course, you know, building trust. The number one thing is trust. How do you trust someone that you've never met? You have to research, you have to look up who they are, get their story, listen closely. And that's what we're heading into, is more accountability, more light being shown on the darkness. A lot of these people and a lot of these leaders, these people who have been controlling the world, they are not trying to make things better. They've had the ability and the choice to make things better for us for a while. And what they've chosen to do is what you see now. They've chosen to start wars. They've chosen to create chaos. It's called I'm sorry, I'm probably not saying it correctly, egregore. It's basically a way that it's chaos magic. Just look that up, chaos magic. This is spell casting. And the way you create chaos is through repeated symbolisms, messaging, programming that create a belief system of chaos. So it's important to shield ourselves at this time. I'm going to add a shielding meditation to this video, so check out the link below. It'll be free. I also have a 21-day alchemy challenge, which is really helpful for creating affirmations, transmuting your subconscious programming, and that's very low. It's like less than $50, and it's a 21-day challenge, which is available for 44 days. And please know that I made it just to have it. I didn't put a lot of like nice PDFs or PowerPoints because I wanted just the information to be out there. So it's really simple. It's just easy. Hopefully you can follow it and let me know if it worked for you. So these people who are in power, these people who are in charge of the world, these people who are making all these decisions that impact our planet, Mother Gaia, they're not doing it to help us. They're doing it to control us. And they've been controlling us for a long time. This is going all the way back to ancient Kemet. And even before that in Atlantis, this is when it all started. And basically, to sum it up, is that they have been inverting the truth. They say things that sound good, but the truth is that they're very manipulative, and they're using us to manifest their own power, because we give away our power to their belief by believing what they tell us. This is chaos magic. So they're literally using us, humans, because we're very powerful beings. And what have they been doing? ultimately, we're going to start learning this soon, is they have been trafficking humans for slavery and for satanic rituals. Now, I'm going to share this very personal experience I've not shared publicly on this channel. I've only said this to a few people. When I was in San Francisco, I had a view of the water, of the bay. I would see a group of boats in the morning, every morning at 9 a.m. A gathering of boats in the bay, in this one area right in front of Marin, in front of like Belvedere, Larkspur. And they would gather right there, and I'm like, why are these boats hanging out every morning at 9 a.m.? What's going on? I have binoculars. I'd look at the binoculars, I'd watch what they were doing, and what I saw, I will never forget. There was this boat with a circle of, I'm assuming men, probably women, but I couldn't tell because they were all wearing gray robes with hoods. I'm not fucking kidding. I'm not kidding. I was in shock. They were standing around this boat. Okay? It's creepy. And they were just standing there. And so I knew it was a ritual, and it was fucking dark. And I was at the same time paying attention to Charlie Ward. I was watching updates on Charlie Ward and Simon Parks, and they started talking about the arrests happening in California in April, which is part of like why the shutdown happened, so we could arrest these fucking cabal, satanic fucking child, terrible people, very, very evil, corrupt millionaires, billionaires with their boats in the bay with satanic rituals. Fuck them. And I mean, you know, just go back to light. Just go, send them back. You know, it's not about hate. It's about wanting them to go back to source. And they talked about the arrest happening that month. And it was that very month I stopped seeing the boats gathering, and I knew the arrest happened. And I felt such a relief, like, success. We're going towards a better future, a positive timeline. Their control over us has been ending. I also follow Elena Denon, and she was saying how we took back the moon, because we all know it's a satellite. And so we took back the moon. You know, that's through the help of our galactic family, the Galactic Federation. It's a lot more to explain. You got to watch her channel. But the point is, we have back our own control through the help of our Galactic Federation family. But it's our responsibility here on Earth, on Terra, to gain our sovereignty. So that's what we're trying to do now that we're in this chaos magic. All the true, Anunnaki reptilian races have left. It's their minions, it's their hybrids who are still here. And so they're still drawing out the plan of chaos. They're still, the only way they have power over us is if we believe the bullshit. Why are they actually in Ukraine? Maybe there's biolabs that we're cleaning out. But they'll never tell us that. Okay? They're never going to tell us the truth in the media. Whoever thinks like the media is going to eventually just tell us the truth, nope. That's not how this works. Everyone has to wake up on their own. My husband, who we're separated, he is not willing to ever question what he is told, and he loves having his 3D life, and that's because it makes him happy. And I want him to be happy, and you should want anyone else to be happy. Okay, if it makes you happy to be ignorant, go for it. Like, that's your timeline, that's your life, that's your free will. Okay, I'm on a different timeline. I'm here to ascend. I'm here to create new earth, 5D reality. So that's where I'm at, and I'm learning these fucking lessons about people and discerning and knowing that, you know, looking through the bullshit, and I'm feeling really fucking tough. I'm calling in Lilith, the dark goddess of female empowerment, who has no time for the patriarchal patriarchal bullshit. And that's what marriage is. It's a patriarchal control over the feminine, okay? The only reason men want to control and dominate women is because we're so powerful that if we were just free, they would have no ability to control us and tell us what to do and how to be. And so they're yeah, I that's another video. The point is, the truth will set us free. Knowing the truth is that knowing that we've been controlled for a long time by these very dark, malevolent people doesn't mean they're going to be dark and evil forever. I'm hearing things like Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos are maybe turning towards something more positive. I'm hearing that they're changing their ways. You know, I don't know. I'm not an insider. You have to listen to those people like Charlie Ward and Amelia Love. That's another person I highly recommend following. Amelia Love is incredible. If you want to get into the galactic imprints and entities and the darkness and the history of the galaxy, you can go to Rising Phoenix Aurora. And she'll really give you all the dirty details if you're willing to watch all those videos about the AI, about the archons, about the inorganic, about the shot, what it all really means, okay? So stay true to your voice. I'm so glad I finally am speaking up about this. This is really a huge topic for me. And I think that we all need to start having more discussions around this topic, because it is going to set us free when we realize it's not about giving our power to someone else to fix our life. It's a time for us to create our own communities, our own businesses, and our own wealth. No one's going to tell me that I'm in a recession. I am making more money than I've ever made. And I'm continuing to navigate through the 3D, but staying out of it. Stay out of the chaos. Focus in on your heart, self-care, and ask for guidance. Talk to your angels. So let's finish with a prayer. Just a real quick prayer. You can bring your hands to your heart or together and just find your body, connect to your body and your breath. Inhale as you expand your ribs. Exhale, let go all the toxic grayness out of the breath. Inhale, expand. Exhale, out the gray, out the toxic. One more, inhale. Exhale. We are sending prayers to all the children who have been harmed, who have been abused, who have been targeted, taken advantage of. We are sending prayers to all those who need healing at this time, who are lost, who are still asleep, who are confused, who do not have boundaries, who are trusting and yet have no discernment. So much love to those, to send power to those, send fire of transmutation, of change, of empowerment. May we all be empowered. May we all become sovereign. May we all live in the light, but understand the darkness. We must understand our shadow. We cannot ignore the shadow. You must understand it, dissect it, look at it, embrace it, if we are going to be truly in our light. And that is the duality that we live in. Send love and blessings to everyone in your life right now. Send forgiveness to all those who have harmed you, knowing that you do not need to interact with them or give them your energy. And may we all be able to stand in our power Take in the lessons with grace. Practice forgiveness when it's needed, and to forgive ourselves for our ignorance. Know that we make no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. Our angels, our ancestors, our galactic family is all here to help us. Thank you for being here at this time of new earth. You are so loved. And so it is. Aho, Ashe, Amen.